Painting a Cartoon Skeleton Acrylic Painting Tutorial by HotPinkZebraPaper. After my painting is already sketched out on my canvas, I'm going to paint over the background with sort of a mossy green color. So it's a combination of green and black and white to create a muted tone. So then after that is painted, I'm going to start working on his jacket first. And so I'm going to paint his vest and then the shoulder area of his jacket, leaving the lapels for later. And then I'm going to add some pinstriping over his vest with just thin white lines. So lots of thin white lines. And then I'm going to start working on shading in my jacket. So I'm going to highlight on his shoulders and then with white. So I'm going to add another layer of charcoal, blend in some white, and then add some black down towards the bottom and also detailing where his shoulders are. So the stitching that would be there. And then I'm going to be painting in the shirt. So I'm going to be using mostly white, but I'm going to blend in some black just for some of the shading in there. And so, yeah. And then I'm going to be painting the lapels once the jacket has fully dried. So you want to make sure that the lapels are done later. So then paint those with charcoal, highlight them with white, lowlight them with black, just like you did the jacket. And I'm going to be painting his bow tie red. So paint that red and then add all of the details with black and white, blending it into the red to create nice gradations. So now I'm going to be painting my skeleton, and I didn't want him to have that grayscale look like I sometimes do. I've painted skeletons both ways. So I'm going to actually use more of a skin tone base. So it's like a yellowy tan, a little more yellow than I would usually use for skin tone. And just paint over everything with that color first. And now I'm going to be filling in the darker areas with brown. And I'm also going to darken them a little bit with black if need be, where I feel it's necessary. So black and brown, adding those just to add those darker areas, so the eye sockets, then the nasal cavity, and the back of the cranium, all that good stuff. Then I'm going to start working on the neck, and I'm going to also highlight with white in here, and so work on all of those little neck bones. And now I'm going to be detailing the rest of his face, so the rest of the skull, and I'm going to be using diluted paint for this instead of blending in colors as you do with two types of wet paint. I'm going to dilute brown and black and white and use that for my highlights. This is going to give it more of almost a dirty appearance because the colors aren't going to blend in very smoothly. They're going to keep a little bit of the streaky quality, which is going to make him look more realistic. And also it's going to bring out some of the texture from the canvas beneath, which is also going to give him a little more texture and a little more realism. So then I'm going to, I completely forgot to talk about this, but work on his teeth and also then add not scratches, but cracks in the skull. And now I'm going to be painting his eyes. So I'm going to start by just defining the circle with white and then blending in some red around the outside and some tan in the middle, just so that it's not a pure white, it's a off-white. And then I'm going to give him blue eyes with blue, brown, and green, just so it's not such a solid color. And then add the veins around it with red, pupils in the middle with black, highlight his eyes, and we're done with our skeleton's face. So now I'm going to be doing his hat. So I'm going to follow basically the exact same steps as I did to paint his jacket because I want them to match. So I'm going to first just paint over his hat with that same charcoal color and then blend in black around the outside, white in the middle, and the same for the rim. And you're going to want to leave just sort of a line for the very edge of the hat, so you don't want to make it completely thin, and then highlight that edge just to really define it, make it look nice and realistic and have some thickness but still stay thin. So then paint over the band around his hat with red, and then do all of your low lighting and highlighting with black and white to match the bow tie. So now for my crow, I'm going to start by painting over his beak with charcoal and then highlighting it with white, low lighting it with black, and doing the same for his feet. And so when you're doing his feet, I want to actually make sure that there's a nice dark edge underneath them to really differentiate between his jacket and the crow's feet, the skeleton jacket and the crow's feet. Then I'm going to paint over my crow with black and then highlight him with blue and white. And I'm going to be blending in these colors. The reason I'm highlighting with blue is because crows have that really black, glossy feathers, and so their feathers kind of reflect blue instead of a gray tone. All blacks are a little different, and I find that crows are a little bit more on the blue side. Then also add some lines for his feathers with black, his eye, and then I'm going to add a spider web on my skeleton's hat. So, I hope you like this painting, and please comment with any questions you may have, and check out my Facebook and Instagram accounts to see some of my other art, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!